Hey YouTube, just here finishing out my workout for the night. It's 1:30 sometime, and I had someone ask a question about calluses and how they develop, and how specifically can they develop them. Okay, so what are calluses? Well, calluses are this thickening of your epidermis, generally on areas that get worn. So it's the skin actually gets thicker, and it's unliving keratinized skin. So it's pretty tough, but it doesn't it doesn't get blood supply. So when you weightlift and you grab a bar a bunch of times, as you get fatigued, your grip starts to fail and you can't hold the bar quite as hard. And as your fingers come out, this skin on your palm actually starts to stretch and pull from the bar. So the weight of the bar pulls my skin this way, upward. Okay, and that's how I get this thickening right here. You see those little dots right there and right there. Usually they're bigger on the smaller fingers, and usually you won't see a very big one right underneath your index finger. So you can see mine, you have the 3 little dots on my pinky and ring and middle finger, but you don't really see much here on my index finger. So calluses develop as you lift more and more, and they select you for being better at lifting and at holding weight. It's just another thing in your body that adapts to weight training. So just like I put a bunch of weight on my back and I stress my bones, they start to compress, I lay in more bone and bone gets stronger. It's a very similar kind of thing. Hans Selye, I believe is how you pronounce his name, but he's like the father of stress and adaptation, and he came up with this rule called the SAID principle, the SAID principle, which stands for Specific Adaptation to Imposed Demands. So in this case, my imposed demands are skin stretching, and the specific adaptation is a thickening of the skin, or callus development. So callus development is just kind of like a byproduct of a grip that can't really support the weights you're trying to use. I wouldn't necessarily focus on developing calluses probably ever at any point. What you'll notice is as they get bigger, so here's an example, this just came to mind. CrossFitters tear calluses a lot. Olympic weightlifters probably slightly less, like actual Olympic weightlifters, whereas CrossFit people do Olympic lifts as part of their CrossFitting sport. So CrossFitters are more fatigued while they're doing their lifts, so their grip is less likely to be sufficient to support their movements. As the grip starts to fail, you pull on the skin more. As that happens frequently, you develop thicker and thicker calluses, and as sometimes it's thick enough and you get just the right angle that it actually tears that dead skin off, and it'll attach to the underlying blood supply dermis skin, and it'll pull some of that up, and your palm will start bleeding. There's pictures all over the internet, you'll be able to find them. It's happened to me, happens to everyone. I just think it happens to CrossFitters more often, and there is a possible explanation for you. It's the fatigue that comes with the stress on the skin. I think that's all I got for you. If you have more questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments below. Have you torn your calluses? Do you have any fixes for or ways to mitigate the byproduct of ripping skin off while you're working out? Love to hear from you. Thanks.